And hello again, and welcome to part 4 of this series of videos to recommission my 1981 Ducati MHR and get it back on the road, having been sat in my house for the last 25 years. And as you may have noticed, I've now turned the bike round so I can work on this side of the bike next. And my first job today is to refit the rear caliper. But before I do that, I had to dig out a pair of new seals here, copper seals. Now it is true you could actually reuse or recycle the old copper seals if you heat them up to cherry red, let them cool down, then in theory they're good to go. But to be honest, for the cost of a few pennies, I always fit brand new seals. And now here it is, back on the bike once again. I've used sprung washers and also Loctite to secure these mounting bolts. And as I already mentioned, I've also used brand new copper seals for the banjo here. So yeah, that's pretty good now, it's all central. Pretty happy with that. And now we can move on to the next job, which is to clean up this side of the bike. And that includes polishing these engine cases and any other alloy covers I can find on the bike that need work. And once that's done, I can then change the oil and oil filter, and also finally tackle the problem of my electrics and the Duff coil I've got here. Can't say I'm looking forward to that. It's a bit of a spaghetti mess down here, but we'll sort it out. And now with the bike turned around, I've now got access to this side of the bike, and that's shown a problem with the gear lever here. Now it's not the end of the world, but it does seem to be quite loose on its pivot point. It's you can see there it's wobbling around side to side, which isn't ideal. Now the gear change still works, so it's not something I need to address right away. But assuming that the wear is on the lever and not its pivot point, then I think I'll take this lever to the workshop, have it machined out, and we'll add a new bronze bush to the centre to take up all that slack. Not something that needs to happen just now, but something for the future. So this parcel's just arrived in the post, and in it are a few things for the Ducati here. Nothing too exciting, I'm afraid. Just some seals, some crushable washers to seal up these plugs that are in these side cases. Now, nothing too exciting there, but the reason why I'm filming this is because this lot cost me about £6 for 20. Whereas had I gone to a Ducati specialist, which I had looked at before, gone online and checked out the prices, he wanted 71 pence per seal or per washer. So he'd have charged me £14 for this lot rather than £6 online from say Amazon, and I even got free postage. And the point I want to make there is that by looking around and looking for the best prices on things like nuts and bolts, washers, seals, that kind of thing, you can save an awful lot of money rather than going straight to a Ducati specialist on the website there where everything's laid out for you and it's very easy to do. But a bit of work and you can save yourself a fair bit of money. Now this is only going to be a few pounds, but you multiply that by the whole bike and it can be quite a saving. So that's why I'm showing you this now. And in fact, 25 years ago when I last restored this bike, I didn't bother fitting brand new seals. I just reused the old one, and that was a bad idea because it caused me a slight leak on one of the plugs low down on the cases. So lesson learned. I've now bought these and hopefully that's a lesson I won't forget. And now I can get on and do the oil change, but not yet because I don't intend risking getting oil spilled on my nice wooden floor. So that'll have to wait until the bike is out of here. And so, since the oil change will have to wait, I had an idea, which was to hook up a spare battery and just to check out if the lights and indicators and so on, and idiot lights, all still work. But then I hit a problem, and that problem is that I can't find the damn key. Now it did spend about 20 years sat right there, but at some point in the past I must have taken it out and put it away for safekeeping. But it's not where I thought it would be. It's not in the safe, it's not with some other keys, so God knows where it is. Now fortunately I can actually buy a brand new barrel and matching key to fit instead of this one, but I guarantee you if I do that, about a week later I'll find the original key. So right now I'm just going to keep on looking and hopefully it'll turn up. However, key or no key, I've still got to fix the problem with one of these coils, and so now I can't put it off anymore. This will have to come off and I'll have to investigate what I can do to fix it. Now the wiring diagram I've got in the official manual of this bike is pretty rubbish and it doesn't explain where all these wires go, and so first I've photographed everything I can around here, every wire, every route and so on. So hopefully when I come to put it back on the bike, I'll know where everything goes. And so with that, let's take these off the bike. So only one bolt holds this coil pack in place, which is this one here, which is a hell of a job to get it out. It's really difficult to get at, but I've done that now. And now hopefully it should just drop out like this, very gently. And then we can unplug things and see what's going on. And now I've got the multimeter out and I'm checking the resistance on the low tension side of the coils. This one here. And I must say it's not looking good. Got an open circuit and that's not good. It means there's no real contact there. I'll do the same thing with the other side and we'll see what happens there. I've just done it before and hopefully we can see that I've got some kind of resistance there. Look, see, it changes. So obviously this coil's fine and this coil isn't. So my repair that I made 25 years ago here, right there, isn't working. I've got no decent contact there, and to be honest, given the resin is, can you see that? Let's see, given the resin has been set for 25 years, I doubt I can pull it off without making a real mess of it. So sadly, I think that coil needs to be replaced. But at least I found out now, rather than when it's on the bike, and then I find it only ran on one cylinder, so that's something at least. The good news is that apparently these coils are used on some other bikes, such as some older Japanese bikes, and if we look here, I'm not sure you can see that, but it says Nippon Denso, made in Japan, with a code number 029700. So now I've got to go online and see if I can find one of these things, perhaps on eBay or whatever, and go and buy it or wait for one to turn up. And so that might take a while, but at least I know where the problem lies, and it was a good idea to pull this off the bike and check it before I try and start the bike. Or then again, perhaps fitting another old coil to this thing might not be the best option. And in fact, I've changed my mind and let's get rid of that. And I've been out and I've bought something new. I've got some Danatec, a pair of Danatec spark plug wires, and also in here we have a pair of Danatec coils. So I can open the damn thing. Now I was told, can you see that? Yeah. I was told that this, or rather these, should be a direct replacement for the coils on the bike, and these are actually 5 ohm Dyna single pillar coils, and these are called, let me see, DC10-01. However, having just checked it, it turns out that while they're actually very similar in terms of length and so on and size, the mounting points aren't quite the same. So as you can see there, they're ever so slightly out. Bit of a pain, even though you have got 2 options here at this end. And that means that this bracket, a rather crude bracket at that, I actually thought this bracket was maybe something that an owner had made back in the day because it's so crudely made, but I think maybe it's not, it's made from the factory. So anyway, that'll have to go. I'll have to make a new one to mount these new coils to. Not a great problem, it just slows things down a wee bit. I also think I don't need to have these ballast resistors which are in series with the coils. Again, had some sort of different ideas from the internet, from the experts, but from what I can gather, these aren't required, and that's great because it means there's one less part to fail in the future. So anyway, yeah, so next up then, I need to take these to the workshop and make a brand new version of this bracket. And now here we are, back home again, and here we have the original coils, so let's move that out of the way. We can have a look at the new coils with their new bracket, which, as I say, isn't quite finished yet. Still some more work to do. But as you can see, we've made it such that this little bracket here can move backwards and forwards so I can get the position right on the bike. And now I've bolted this part of the bracket in place, roughly where I think it should be. So let's just try and see how it might look on the bike. Now, can't go too high because then it will touch the frame, but that looks okay. Now obviously these bolts on this thing holding together are far too long. I replace them all with the correct length and use Nylox when it's finished. And then of course these corners need to be rounded off and the whole thing polished up. So yeah, it's not too bad, and I'm going to go with that. Just need to drill a hole in the top here to match the hole in the frame, and then that should be the coil brackets finished, hopefully. And now the coils have been mounted on the frame in their final position. Pretty happy with that. And next I've got to take this bracket apart and polish the aluminium pieces before it goes back on the bike for the last time. But I won't have time for that for a few more days, and so I think we'll end the video here. And so thanks for watching, and cheers.